Hey guys, Adam Rose, Vice President, Senior Loan Officer for Western Ohio Mortgage here in Sidney, Ohio. This is another episode of the Mortgage Guy podcast, and you are going to get to know Mica James that works for Western Ohio Mortgage. He's kind of a big wig down in Mason, Ohio, and we're going to get to know him a little bit, talk about the industry, maybe a couple of odd topics. We're both Bengals fans, so that's probably going to come up. So, Mica.
My man.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. You don't make the trip up here very often.
Hey, man, but I'm a big fan, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a subscriber, so I watch the show.
See, that's important, guys. So It's free. Just click and subscribe. So, Mica, give me a little background on yourself, a little bio.
I've been in the business 20 years.
20.
Yeah. I'm actually, wow, it's 2024, 21 years.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy now. You know, I was the youngest loan officer when I started back in 2003. And now I'm middle-aged, so.
I'm going to turn this right there. There we go. You're good. We'll
Can
cut
you hear
that
me?
little piece. Yep, I can hear you good. So, but I get your feeling because, you know, when I started, I was in my mid-20s, and I always felt like the young guy in the business, and then now you've been in it, and it's like, okay, I'm no longer the young guy. It's always fun to be like a top producer and being the young guy in it.
Yes.
Because you're like, what are you doing, right?
Right.
But now
It's not special.
it's not special anymore.
It's expected, you know?
Correct.
It's expected. You know?
Correct.
That's what happens. That's the change.
So are we married? We have family? You know what?
Married. I have a beautiful wife that I've been with for 15 years, and I have a daughter. She's 23, and
Now you're feeling the age. Yeah.
boy. That's what ages me more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That right there.
just having her, seeing her go through all the stages of life. She finishes school next month. You know, she got a little boyfriend.
Oh, yeah? How's that going?
You know, I really like the guy.
Okay, good.
I really like the guy, but you know, my daughter's really smart. She got with somebody that she knew I already liked.
Okay.
So
All right.
I didn't even get to give him a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, I loved him immediately.
So he must be just like you then, right?
Actually, yes.
Yeah. I knew he's just like you.
Actually, yes.
I knew it.
Yes,
Smooth
yes,
talker.
He's a lot like
Smooth operator. All right. So you've been in the business for over 20 years.
Yes.
And hobbies. You know, what do you enjoy doing? I mean, because I talked about Bengals, and I know that's a hot topic for us.
You know what's crazy, Adam? People don't realize how many hobbies I have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I believe that you can learn throughout your whole life. Like just yesterday, I was trying to learn to draw. You know,
Just yesterday?
Just yesterday.
Yeah. Decided to pick up a pencil and let's see how this goes.
Let's work on it.
Did you stick figure it?
No, man. Actually, if I had them with me, I would show you. But I did some pretty nice stuff because there's this guy online that like believes anybody can draw.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
It's quite the assumption.
I'll send you the link so you can put it in your comments.
Okay.
But yeah, he teaches anybody. He even taught some people who were stroke victims that could write only with their offhand. He taught them how to draw. I was like, I could definitely do this then.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you what, I had one art class as an adult, and that's when I was living. So I studied abroad in college in Rome, right, for a semester. And we had to take a sketching class.
Fancy.
And so it was fun, right? You do it on location and stuff like that. I'm still terrible at it, though. My wife's a pretty good artist. My nephew's an amazing artist. I don't know if you've ever seen some of his stuff, but I just don't have it. I just can't.
I'm telling you, if you do one video with this guy,
all right.
I mean, you're just doing caricatures. I mean, you're not gonna be Michelangelo,
right?
But you're.
I could do characters with like the big face and heads and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
I'll autograph it and make it look like it's.
I don't have to be great. I don't have to be the greatest at anything. I just want to be decent at everything.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I love basketball, singing. I make movies.
Whoa. Time out. We make movies?
Yeah.
What?
Man.
Well, I don't know this part of you. Now, listen, I've known Mica for over quite a while. I did not know this part.
I'm trying to tell you, there's so many hobbies that I have. Nobody would even believe that I have so many.
Now, are these movies viewable currently?
Oh, yeah, well, not like online. Like everything that I make, I keep in a vault. Like I don't want it out there for public consumption.
Okay.
I just do it for fun. For me.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's stuff that I like to do.
You know what? We used to do it as kids when we'd have family over for the weekend and cousins and stuff. We made movies. And they're always like horror flicks and action films. And we were flying off decks and all kinds of stuff, you know, catch up for the scenes, for all the blood. Yeah. So I kind of get you. And then Bengaled them, right?
Yes.
Big Bengals fan.
Huge Bengals fan. And I was a Bengals fan when it wasn't popular.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You'll see me as a kid in the 80s with you remember the old Bengals helmet, the little plastic helmet and running around, running into stuff?
That was me.
So, yeah, that was me too. What do you think, man? I mean, you think you got a chance this year?
Simple.
I mean, we got a
Very
better
simple.
tackle too.
Very simple. We don't keep T. Higgins.
Yep.
And we are a playoff team, but we no longer can compete for championships.
Oh, really?
Simple as that. Simple as that.
Do you think that's because of T. Higgins? Is that what you're placing that on?
The thing is that we have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I would have loved to have kept Joe Mixon because I really feel like he was underrated terribly.
He was.
You know?
They bashed him a lot just because of the stuff in college.
Well,
right? And ever since then, that's why I feel like they kept him underrated just because of that.
I understand that.
He was a great running back.
I understand that. But, you know, how many running backs, think about this, how many running backs increase their production
as they're getting
older?
Yeah.
Right? And, like, he's one of the few that can catch great.
He's great out of the backfield.
Run.
Yeah.
You know, you need those couple yards, got you.
Yeah.
You need me to catch the ball in the backfield, got you.
I feel like he was an amazing mix of a power back, like we could get the 2 and 3 yard, the goal line situation, mixed with shiftiness, and overall speed was crazy.
Yes.
Like he'd run away from people.
Yes.
It's hard to find that.
I played Madden football, another hobby for me.
Yep.
And Mixon is like amazing.
Yeah.
It's like the Bengals are a video game team when they have all of those guys, and throw Tyler Boyd in there as well.
Yeah.
You know, but now we're going to take away, we've already lost Mixon. We're going to potentially lose T. Higgins. And again, we are a good team. You know, it's not that I don't have faith in the guys that are left. It's just that when you're trying to get to that level,
right,
you have to have as much firepower as possible because Patrick Mahomes is a problem.
Yeah.
That guy is just.
Look what he did to us when he was hurt in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
He could barely run. He could barely move. And he still beat us.
And you know, I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, and I loved Michael Jordan the entire time that he was playing. I didn't realize how it would feel to be like a Pistons fan during that time. You know,
see, I grew up a Bulls fan just because of Michael Jordan.
Right.
I was always a Jordan fan. So I can only assume that you sit on the Jordan side as the GOAT. Not LeBron.
Oh, for sure.
100%, right?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
I'm on the same side.
You know what makes Jordan different from LeBron?
What's that?
Killer instinct.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a small detail, but you don't realize it how there's always one moment in a game where if you make the shot, you win and everything is great. You miss the shot, you lose,
Life's
and everybody's
over.
Looking at you like you're the worst. And for some reason, Jordan could always make that shot.
Yeah.
Like Jordan could like miss a ton and whatever, but put him in that one moment where you have to do it. He does it.
It was a different era of basketball, though.
Yeah.
You ever go back and watch some of those games and look how rough it was?
Yeah,
I mean, it was football without pads. Yeah. I mean, they were rough. And today, you can't get away with that.
But don't get me wrong. Like I appreciate LeBron James. I think that he has been just like a consummate professional, like who everybody should aspire to be. The way he's taking
he gives
care
back
of his
to the community.
I mean, I still watch his games now, and I'm amazed.
Yeah.
And then sometimes because of the way he plays now, I forget how athletic he was earlier because he's a bad boy now. But
I got to see him in high school. So I was a junior in high school, and he was a senior. And so our basketball coach took us to the state finals.
I thought you said you played him.
No.
I was about to ask you how that went.
Yeah, not very well, right?
Like, did you switch that on LeBron? That would be interesting.
Sorry about that, guys. We had to cut that piece. I lost video, but we were on the LeBron topic, and I think we found a good cut on that. But so anyways,
your game. You went to the game.
Yeah. So it's for the whole weekend, right? The semifinals and the championship game, and like we were wheeling and dealing because back then you could scalp tickets too. So we had these tickets. We were up in the nosebleed sections. And me and my buddy Blake Newcomb was there, I think he was, and we were scalping tickets for front row. We didn't have any money. We kept buying and selling. We got it was like the second row, it wasn't the front, but we watched that whole championship game. And I saw him in the hallway. He was a monster, but he looked. I mean, he was clean cut, shaved, right? He just looked like he was 12.
Yeah.
And thinking that he went from that straight to the NBA is insane. Yeah. Right? I mean, crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have any knocks against LeBron as far as who he is.
It's not that he's going to see this part anyway, so we can knock him all we want. No,
I just think that he would have. I think he would have supplanted Jordan and become the greatest player had he stayed in Miami, stayed with Pat Riley, and Eric Spoelstra, and they went to 2 more championships without him.
Yeah.
Imagine if they would have had the guy.
Do you think they'd hang on to Bosch and Wade?
I think they would have cycled out.
Yeah.
Because Wade was aging already at
Yeah.
that point. That's one of the reasons I think LeBron was ready to move on somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't think I can keep winning with these guys. They're about to go over the hill. That's kind of when he leaves places usually.
Yep.
Like he realizes that the winning is not happening anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes somewhere else. So you stay there though. Now you're bringing in the other guys.
Yeah.
They're
going to bring in top talent to surround you.
Exactly. It's like it doesn't matter like who the exact players are. Like that guy, who is his name, Hochter, that they have this year that just came out of nowhere. Guys like Tyler Hero,
right?
And it's just great coaching, great organization. It's like Western Ohio Mortgage.
Yeah, that's right. Let's bring it back a little bit, shall we, guys? Yeah. So about that, let's get back onto the lending topic here, because we're going to go down this rabbit hole and just sit here and talk about sports and how they try to bring in the unibrow Anthony Davis, who's a little pissed off at the world right now. If you're watching any of those games, but
watch the press conference.
Yeah, he mic dropped it.
Man,
he answered the question.
hard.
Nope. Bang. He's gone. Don't be like that. So, anyways, economic environment. So
Yes.
I had Chad Perk on, and we were talking about the economic environment. And what do you think buyers need to hear or to address some of their concerns in this environment? Like, hey, rates are too high, or hey, prices are crazy. I'm waiting for the crash. What kind of response or education would you like the buyers to know?
I think that it's all about perspective. With being in the business 20 years, when I came in, the interest rate was 9.99, and everyone was excited.
Yeah, it broke single digits, right? Yeah, we're in the single digits, baby. This is money.
People were calling in left and right, like, let me get that 9.99 rate, and we were putting it out there,
right?
But because we've gone through so much of a cycle of really low rates, that's all that people have in their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard. And it's hard to get out of that mindset.
It really is.
And I've talked about this on the show is that going through that in 21 and early 22 and late 20, those low rates, that 2.5% to 3.5% range, is a big piece of why we're kind of in the pickle we're in, right?
Correct. Yes.
Because the big problem here is inventory, and a lot of those people that have the houses, they're sitting on those low rates, and they just don't want to come off of them. And I get it. I understand.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. Right. We're talking about building a house here in the next 2 years. And I'm like, I don't know. My house is paid off. I don't know if I want to do this now. Right. Does this make sense? So, I'm guilty of it too. So I completely get it. What about agents? Right. So what sets you apart from a senior loan officer exec compared to other typical LOs? Right. What's the differentiating factor here?
So we talked about Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah.
Where there's that one moment,
right?
I hit the shot in the one moment.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what happens. It's like this business is a lot like sports.
Yeah.
It's like it really comes down to, did you win or did you lose? Did they get the house or not? It's all about results.
Yeah.
And that's how people look at you. And when the ball's in my hand, I feel comfortable because if I'm taking the shot, I think we're going to get this, ball over the goal line. If the ball's in somebody else's hand, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
I love it. Great analogy.
That's the truth.
It is. That's fantastic.
But that's also why I think you're so great, because you do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, the moment comes, and whereas most people will just be like, man, I'm defeated. It didn't work out. It's like,
I don't take no for an answer.
Exactly.
I mean, and it could have been something that was completely out of our realm of control.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And say, oh my gosh, here's what we ran into. I had no idea. No one knew. Hell, half the time, the buyer didn't even know.
Right.
Judgments, liens from 10 years ago that come flying in. Yeah. And we just got to find a solution. Right.
Exactly.
And that's it. End of story. And that's the great thing about our company is we can contact directly to the underwriter, the owner, what have you. Let's put our heads together and figure out how to close this. It's not a black and white, sorry, you're denied automatically.
Right.
That's never the case.
No.
Right? We're always trying to find a solution.
There have been places that I've been that kind of stuff happens.
Right.
And people get defeated. People have quit the business because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why do you give up? Why do you give up? But that's how you can tell good from greatness.
Yeah. And to quote my buddy Jim Luana, who just started 4 months ago, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. So
it's definitely greener here.
Yeah, it's definitely greener here.
Definitely greener here.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do want to ask if you have any funny real estate related or lending related stories to share with the public.
So
we don't have to name drop.
We're definitely not name dropping, but let me tell you. So it was several years ago, probably over a decade ago. But I was doing a loan for this couple, and the underwriter got the bank statements, and they saw all these weird withdrawals and deposits that were going into the account. And as you know, that's an issue.
Yeah, correct.
Right. And so the husband was like, these are business trips that I'm taking, and I have money coming in from the company to repay expenses and all this other stuff. And so I said, okay, well, I told him to give me documentation on it. He couldn't come up with any documentation. And so one day the wife, out of the blue, comes to visit me in my office. And she says, can we look at these bank statements again? And we start going over them line by line, the stuff that's coming in, stuff that's going out. Turned out the guy was supporting his mistress.
I knew this. That's where it was coming from.
Off of both of their money.
Yeah.
And that's how she found out. And so, of course, she canceled the transaction.
I was going to say, did you still take the winning shot? They call it technical on that one. Game was over.
One thing is for sure about me. Like, I always want to do the right thing for you. So it's like, if this is not the right move, let's not do it.
Yeah.
So I of course I couldn't try to, tell her this makes sense. She confronted him. He was upset. The guy goes on like one of those review sites and writes me a bad review and says that I destroyed his marriage.
Beautiful. I mean, I don't even know. Did you? What do you even say? I mean, because there's only so much you can say in response.
There's nothing I could say.
Yeah,
because it's like I can't give out, tell what happened.
Right.
But he just ranted about me destroying his life and marriage, and they got divorced. Oh, you know what? I still win. She came back to me and bought a house herself. Glad I remembered
got
that
the
part.
Deal done, baby. I knew it. There was got to be something. I knew there was going to be a happy ending.
Life always works out, man. It always works out.
That's crazy. I mean, we got some crazy stories because I've actually had some stories about a couple trying to close in Columbus, and this gentleman was buying a house for his mistress.
Oh, wow.
What he didn't know and was not paying attention to because he was not advised properly. Again, this wasn't my deal. This is a story from a friend of mine that's in the industry. Is title company contacted the wife and said, hey, we're closing on such and such date at this time at my office. She had no idea what was happening. No one told the buyer, the guy buying the house for his mistress, that Ohio's a dour state and that she was going to have to sign. And so my understanding is they all showed up at the closing table together and fireworks went. I don't know. He never told me actually the deal actually closed, like they signed or not. But I guess that it was entertaining, to say the least. Could you see that
amazing.
drama?
Oh, my God.
I've seen drama at a closing table, but I just want to kind of hide in a hole if I was there. That'd be amazing. So that's it for us this week. Micah, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure, man. I had a great time.
We'll have to do it
keep
again.
watching the show.
I appreciate it, and share it with your friends. Guys, remember, subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we will see you all next week.